Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for the Vampire Diaries Season 5, Episode 12, The Devil Inside. This episode was perfect, in my opinion. Perfect. There was nothing wrong with this episode. In my opinion, it could quite possibly be the best episode of the season, and I think the twist that they have added to this show, really, a lot of people, I think, are loving it now. A lot of people are saying they made the Vampire Diaries much more interesting by adding the twist, and I think it's great to just take a complete 180 and get rid of Elena and now have Katherine. Honestly, I don't want Elena to wake up. I don't. I'm not saying I don't like Elena. Here's the thing with me and Elena. I tolerate her. I have tolerated her this season. I would not say I like her as a character. I would not say that I like her character. I tolerate her character. I tolerated her in Season 1, Season 2, Season 3. Season 4, I thought she was a bitch, and I really hated her character when she lost her humanity. She became this crazy psycho bitch, and I hated her in Season 4. This season, I've tolerated her. But having Katherine, so much better. So much better. Like, Nina Dobrev, I'm starting to think that Nina Dobrev enjoys playing Katherine more than Elena, because she just does such a great job, and this episode was so good because of the complete thing we have with Katherine. It's so amazing, and I think they're doing such a great job with it. So, I absolutely love this episode. I love what they're doing with it. It was such a great one. I know some people have had complaints with this season. I will admit, I kind of, said that I liked the first half of the season. I did, but I think this second half is going to be a lot better because now we have Katherine, and I'd like her to just stay as Katherine. Have this twist with Katherine being Elena for the rest of the show and have Elena never wake up till the last episode. Or the season finale, that's fine, but have Katherine still be on the show no matter what, because Katherine is by far the best character on this show. I don't care what anybody says. I know some people say they don't like Katherine, that they wish Katherine would have died last episode, but I do not agree at all. I think Katherine is probably the most interesting character on the show, and I think adding her, having what they're doing with her, having her switch bodies with Elena was probably one of the best things they have done on this show in quite a few seasons. So, let's just get to this amazing episode. Right away, we see Katherine, she was in the hospital. She was in the hospital and she was dying, but she was still alive. We know about this. And, she greets Matt with this kiss, and he says she's in a good mood. She says we're alive. She asks if he's still using vervain and says no, but he still has a bracelet protecting him. She yanks it off, and then she confesses that she's actually Katherine. And she compels him to tell her all about Elena so they can masquerade as Elena. And effectively, Nadia's there with her as well. Nadia tells Matt they're working on making it permanent. She asks for birthday information, other personal information about her friends and Elena's relationship with him. And finally, she asks him how Elena broke up with him. Nadia comes in and tells Katherine, and then we basically find out, we go like a couple hours before, or a couple days before, something like that. Nadia comes in, she tells Katherine that Mia needs her corpse, and Katherine says that's morbid, they have to make the transfer permanent, but are worried that Elena is going to turn up and take over the body. Nadia says they're going to chain her to the bed while she goes out in case Elena takes over so she can't escape. Damon is leaving voicemails for Elena that Katherine is ignoring, and Damon comes in, tells Stefan he got rid of the corpse, but then Nadia shows up, demands it. She says she wants to bury it in Bulgaria with her family, and Stefan tells him to go over the body, but Damon refuses and says she's maggot food and he's not giving it back the body. Nadia attacks, but Damon fights her off easily. So, then we saw Matt, he's coming in looking for a phone, and his plot had a lot to do with Tyler, and I'll get to Tyler's plot in a second, but, once I get to that plot, I'll talk about it a little bit more. So, the phone buzzes again. Katherine is annoyed with his persistence. Something funky starts happening. Her eyes turn black, and then it's Elena who's back in control of the body. She has no clue where she is or why she's chained up. She begins to struggle against her bond and says, "Oh my God, Katherine." And for a second, I'm like, if they make Elena on for the rest of the episode, I'm not going to be happy. But luckily, comes after that, she struggled with the chain. While the phone continues to buzz, she finally gets free. Grabs the phone, but then Nadia is there, snatches it. Elena accuses her of putting Katherine in her. Nadia says a gypsy phrase, snaps it back from Elena to Katherine, and she tells her that Elena is fighting her for control. what I like is that, you know, it's not like they've killed off Elena. If they would have killed off Elena, I think that would have been a little too harsh. Yes, I know we hate Elena. I can tolerate her character. Again, I can tolerate her character. But the thing is, killing her off, she's the main character. That's not the right thing to do. Having her in, like, this dream, I think is really cool. So they basically decide to go to this party and everything. And because she's invited to a party, so they decide to go to this party, and they think that the only person they can really talk to is Matt. And here's where we get the whole Matt scene. We find out about Matt, and Katherine, where is it? Katherine calls Matt, and she says she, you know, he asks if he's trying to win her back. She calls Matt, tells him she needs help, and she meets him in the park, and here's where we get that scene from the beginning of the episode. Which is interesting, because I like the way they did that. So Katherine's there, she looks around, isn't happy, she calls Matt, he comes over, calling her Elena, she compels him to go find a blonde to hit on, and he takes off. Stefan stands alone, not enjoying the party. When she finds him, he jokes that she's alive, and she says she is, and then asks why he's drinking beer from a cup. He asks where she's been, she says around and thinking and processing the Damon thing. Gotta say, Katherine's a really great actress, because her portrayal of Elena is very believable. You know, very believable. Stefan tells her Damon wants her back, and she asks if it's weird for him, and he says Damon is better with her than without her. Here's what I love about Stefan. He is so supportive of their relationship. You know, Stefan's not being persistent about trying to be with Elena. He's not even trying to be with Elena right now. Stefan is just happy being single. He wants Damon and Elena together. He sees the relationship between them. Honestly, at this point, I don't want Elena with anybody, because I mean, Elena's gonna stay dead. I mean, Elena's going to stay in this dream-like, but Katherine as Elena is so much more interesting. Her and Stefan do go a little bit better together than her and Damon, so I kind of have this feeling that since it's Katherine, it's going to be Stefan, which I like, because I like Katherine and Stefan together. But I understand that Stefan wants Damon and Elena together, which makes perfect sense, because they are very cute together. I will say that. They do make a good couple. They complement each other really nicely. So I did like that Stefan really wants them to continue this relationship. So Nadia finds Katherine taking out the trash at the party. Nadia mocks her. Katherine says Elena is annoyingly helpful. She tells her she thinks her body is under the old church where Damon thought she was all those years when he assumed she was dead. Nadia tells her to head into the party and say her goodbye so no one will follow her. And while she's there, Caroline confesses about having sex with Klaus. And, you know, she doesn't know it's Katherine. She thinks it's Elena, which doesn't know that she just revealed a secret about Katherine, who, you know, was her biggest enemy. And Katherine's shocked. Caroline tells her to tell her how awful she is. She says that Caroline's not that person. Katherine asks her how it was having sex with Klaus because she knows Tyler was in earshot. Caroline notices too, and then looks distraught by the hurt and angry look on Tyler's face that the girl he loves slept with his tormentor. So Katherine shows up to meet Mia and Nadia, and they have her body. They have to seal Katherine's spirit in Elena's body, and they they need some blood to do it. Mia stabs Katherine's corpse, then sprinkles some blood, says a spell as she works. Elena is suddenly present in her own body, sees what's going on, turns around, then asks what's happening now. Mia tells her she needs silence to get rid of Elena forever. She's trying to figure out what to do. Nadia asks Katherine where she wants to go when the spell is done. Mia says it will only take a few more seconds. Elena attacks Mia and then Nadia and then takes off before they can complete the ritual. Nadia realizes too late it wasn't her mom she was talking to. Mia and Nadia comes in. Nadia tells her to finish the spell. Elena's in the woods tries to use Nadia's Pliforward phone, but there is a pin number on it. Mia continues the spell, and Elena begins struggling with Katherine's memories in her head. Mia continues the spell and then lights Katherine's body, and it blazes. Elena screams, no, holds her head. She sees all the horrible things Katherine has done and that were done to her. I really like the way they did this scene, because it was really cool. Elena runs, finds Damon, she runs him and takes him in her arms. She's about to tell him that what happened with her when her eyes turn back, and Katherine takes her body, presumably for good. Damon asks her to talk to him. She tells him she's been looking for him and that they need to talk. She says she listened to all his voicemails, and he says that he messed up and shouldn't have left her and shouldn't have ever left him. She tells her that he tells her that he's the best person he's ever known, and that she was foolish to think he would ever let her obtain her. He says he needs her, and that she's the best influence on him. He tells her she's a good and he needs a little good in his life. He says without it, there's a lot of awful of darkness. She tells him it's a lot of pressure. She says she's glad she makes him a better person, happy, but says she can't be the only thing he lives for and can't worry about what will happen if they break up or fight and who he'll take it out on. So she tells him she knows what he did to Katherine when she was weak and dying and how he tortured her. He asks why they're talking about Katherine. She says it's about the person he really is, that he was right to let her go. She says it's over for good and walks away. So now they're officially broken up, and am I upset that they're broken up? No, I'm not upset, because they need to be broken up, I think. So then Mia tells Nadia that Katherine is the body of Elena permanently and asks for her payment, but then Katherine is there and yanks Mia's heart out. Nadia says they need to get on the road, but Katherine says she's not going anywhere. She says for the first time in 500 years, she's in the clear with no one chasing her. She says most of the people in Mystic Falls would slit their throats to protect her. She tells Nadia to stay as well. She says she may not learn to be a good mom, but she can try because they have all the time in the world. And then Nadia says she's not leaving. Katherine tells her she wants her immortality. And Stefan, she says he's her one true love. And Nadia tells her that she won't stand her way. So I like that Katherine does love Stefan, because I like those two together. So now let's go to Damon and Enzo. Now, Enzo, we find out, is not dead. I thought Enzo was died in the mid-season finale, but I guess Enzo actually did not die, which was interesting, because I thought Enzo was actually dead. And Enzo coming back also creates a lot of interesting stuff that's going on. So, Stefan calls Caroline, tells her that Damon's trying to get hold of Elena. She's not interested in helping Damon, but Stefan works on her. He says that Elena is good for Damon, that when he's happy, he's a murderous jerk. They figure out Elena is MIA since she's not with either of them. And Damon and Stefan hang out in the grill playing pool. Caroline shows up and says she can't find Elena anywhere. Stefan tells Damon she's there to help him get Elena back. And he reminds her she once said calling him Satan was an insult to Satan. Damon asks if they are babysitting him and says he doesn't need their help. He leaves. And so Enzo tells Damon that killing Aaron will cement their fresh start. Damon explains that he's a good friend of a friend, and Enzo says he doesn't think he's gone that soft and reminds him his grandfather sliced their eyes open, and he tells him to end him and give them peace. And Caroline calls and tells him to get his ass to the party because Elena's there. And Aaron's back too in this episode. Aaron is back, and Enzo pressures him to kill him. Instead, Damon breaks Enzo's necklace, not his necklace, he breaks Enzo's neck, snatches off Aaron's magic bracelet. He compels him to get the hell out of town and never come back. But then we get the last scene of the episode where he actually thinks differently, because we see Enzo again with Aaron, and Aaron stops by when he sees someone lying in the road, and it's Enzo, and he tells Aaron he's been waiting for him. He says Damon has been teaching him a game. Damon's there. Aaron says he said he'd let him go. He says Elena will be mad at him. Aaron asks what he wants, and Damon says he wants his past back. Aaron reminds Damon he killed his whole family, and Damon says they deserved it. By the way, Aaron returned to tell him that Wes would not be a problem. That's why he returned, because he wanted to tell him specifically that Wes will not be a problem. Don't worry about him. And Damon agrees. He thought that too. At one point he says that he struggled with the notion of sparing people because it was right. And he says he was conflicted, but now he's clear. He says Elena thinks he's a monster and she's right, and he snaps Aaron's neck, so he kills him. So I really like their plot as well. I think it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens there. And the only other thing we have to talk about is Caroline and Tyler, very quick. Caroline and Tyler, they are definitely moving on. Matt brought Tyler to this party because he wanted Tyler to get over Caroline. Caroline was cleaning and everything. Tyler found out about Klaus and Caroline being together. He was freaking out and everything. But he decided to just, basically leave town. All he has is this mansion now. So he's just going to stay by himself, kind of separate from himself from Caroline, and just be by himself. Because I think that's definitely a good move on his part, because when you're with someone, when you're upset with someone, you really should try to distance yourself from them, and that's what he's going to do. He's just going to distance himself from Caroline, and it should be interesting to see what happens to Tyler. So I love this episode. I really loved every minute of it. I hope Elena does not come back to Katherine's body for a very long time. I would love to just see Katherine on this show. So much more interesting. What's going to happen with Katherine and Elena's body? Do you think that she'll try to get closer to Stefan? What's going to happen with Damon now? Damon is officially over Elena now. Also, Damon killed Aaron. How is this going to affect everything else? Is Caroline going to move on? Is Caroline going to find someone new? I have a feeling that's going to happen, although I could see Caroline and Tyler getting back together. Do you think Tyler made the right decision? I think he did. That's it for this review. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.